Hey everyone, so you can see this is what we normally do first thing in the morning. We open the chicken coop like many farmers do, and then we normally go tend to the rabbits. But this morning, whenever I filmed this, it ended up actually raining, and whenever we do get some heavy rain with wind, sometimes obviously the wind and the rain, it'll blow rain into the rabbit hutches. But when it's a little bit of light rain and there's not too much wind, it's not a big deal. So the very front of their hutches won't get wet. But this time it was a good bit of rain and some wind, so we had to make sure that we did that. And then we just proceed with giving them some water and then replenishing their food and chatting with them like now. This is Chloe, and remember, she had 10 babies. Hey, sweet baby. And these babies are about 3 weeks old now. So what's really nice about having chicks is they're coming under the rabbit hutches and scratching all at their poop and spreading it and whatever else that they need to do. So it's a really good thing having them. Whenever, real quick, I want to check on Allie. I've shown y'all Allie before, and it rained last night, so things are kind of not as clean as I would like them right now. But Allie, she was the one that had the 9 white babies. And we bred her about a month ago. We bred her whenever her babies were 4 weeks old. And we figured last night she would have her babies. So in a second, I'm going to check in her box and see if she's had them. Because she has already been, when I was giving her hay, she already went and made a nest, as you can see. But Allie is a type where when she has her babies, she pulls out a lot of hair. I mean, I'll have to find a picture or a video. Hi, Mama. A picture or a video from whenever she had her first babies, and it was a lot. But yeah, whenever she had her first babies, I think she had 7, and she was the first mama that had babies, and she's probably like, why aren't you giving me treats? But her first babies, I think she had 7, and it was new to us. It was our first litter. And it also ended up being really cold. I think it was around December, and we didn't know that we needed to lay the bottom of their wired hutches with hay or straw. So whenever she had her 7 babies, we didn't know that we were supposed to do that, and she actually ended up, after that, I think she only had 4 left because they would get out, and this was actually the hutch that they were originally in. But whenever they would get out, they would hop around, and then a few times like a foot would get stuck or something. But the people we actually bought her from, we ended up asking them like, hey, what do we need to do, because we just weren't exactly sure. And they said, well, you're supposed to line it with hay or straw. And that's why I say that we're not pros at this. This is, we just started with meat rabbits in October, so it hasn't been very long at all. We're just now going on about 6 months, 6 or 9 months almost. So, but she was the one that was in the rabbit tractor, and she had the 9 babies, and all of them were about 6 weeks old, or 6 to 8 weeks old. I think they were born on 3/3. Yeah, so they were about 6 weeks old. So it was time for them to go. They weaned when they were about 4 weeks, maybe even earlier. Now that I'm seeing, like, the ones that end up having more babies, they end up weaning much quicker. I'm guessing the mamas probably are like, hey, get off me, like, you're old enough, like we are with kids. I'm like, go. By the time you have so many, you're like, just go do something, go play. So they all nibble and everything. And I think also with all the babies we've been having, I'm trying to introduce them to hay and pellets. So even when they're in their nesting box and I see that their eyes are open, they're moving around a little bit, but I'm not seeing them like physically get out of the box, I will go and put just like a little bit, like a pinch, like less than a handful of hay basically, but a little bit of Timothy hay, and I'll put it in their nesting box where the babies are, just so that if they want some, they can eat some. And these past 2 litters that we had with Allie and Chloe, I put some hay in the nesting box, and they went and they started sniffing and they started eating it. So I was like, oh, okay. And then I would start with a little bit of pellets, and then whenever I feed the rabbits grass, I'll go and any of our tall grass, I'll go and start picking it, and I will let them, I'll put it in their hutch obviously for them to eat since they're not all on the ground. But then even the babies have been eating the grass. And as far as I know, like, we were told to not put them out until they were 6 weeks old. But I guess I don't completely understand why, because if they're able to eat grass, why can't they be on the grass? But the only thing I could think of is like how it is when people say with dogs and everything, you're not supposed to put them out and everything. So that's the only thing I can think of. But if any of y'all know that have meat rabbits, feel free to educate me on that, because I don't remember exactly what I was talking about just now, because my husband called me and he had to go to work this morning, so I lost track of what I was talking about. But we thought Allie was gonna have babies, and she hasn't yet, so we're kind of just waiting to see. And oh, grass, if they're eating grass, they should be able to go out there, in my mind, blah blah blah. But yeah, so Chloe's babies, these guys, the one that had 10 of them, our big chocolate lady, her babies are about 3 weeks old, I think. And once they hit, I think for us, we waited till like they hit 4 or 5 weeks, and then we put them on the grass. But once they hit that age, we'll end up putting them on the grass. And we think we're gonna keep one. My husband told me we'll probably keep one of them, because one of them literally looks like a wild rabbit. It's weird. It like, we know the rabbit came from her, obviously, but it looks just like a wild rabbit. It's beautiful. I don't know if it's a boy or girl, but we'll have to, if it's a girl, it would be nice, because we were wanting another girl. But we're actually going to get another red doe today, because Rudy, the one that we ended up purchasing and was supposed to be a female, but ended up being a male, the guy's going to come by today. We were actually going to go to his house, and he lives about hour 15 away, I think, or at least an hour. And we were going to go, I was going to go to his house again, me and my husband. We were going to go see his whole setup too, because he has a much bigger setup as far as I know. I also wanted to give y'all an update on our okra that I planted in my very first video. So I'm not exactly sure what I did wrong. Thankfully I have plenty of seeds, but I'm trying to remember last year and all the other years if I normally have to soak my okra beforehand. My guess is probably yes, because it has been 2 to 3 weeks and I don't have a single okra plant other than weeds. So I'm not really sure exactly what happened. I've tried to go in here and just look a little bit to see if I can find something popping up, but all I'm seeing is weeds, and it's not going to be a problem to pull these out. It's not going to be a big deal. It sucks, yeah, because then you just feel like circulation in your legs is just gone. But I do remember how our very first year when I planted okra, maybe it was last year. It might have been last year. Because I think the very first year I planted okra, I started them in the little black pots, like that have 6 of them in there. And I started them in there, so I made sure they had already sprouted, and then I put them in the ground. And they struggled a little bit at first. They weren't very happy. But last year, I put them directly in the ground. I don't remember if I soaked them. I don't think I did, honestly. But I ended up planting the burgundy okra and everything, and the regular Clemson spineless, and I had thought that they weren't going to come up, because I remember that my husband and I were looking at them. We were like, oh, I guess they're just not going to come up. So we went out there, we added even more. So then we had like a buttload, but it was only like we didn't have a whole lot of footage to where we planted it. So I think we ended up thinning it out eventually, because the ones that ended up getting bigger obviously covered the smaller ones, and so they were stunted. The mother in me was like, I know, I gotta protect them. So I did just that, and they were not very happy that I went over there and picked their babies up and tried to help them. I wonder if they'll fly over there once I'm gone. And now the rest of our garden, you can see behind me clearly, there's a lot of weeds. I've pulled up all of my radishes and my beets and my carrots. All of our broccoli's been done, our cabbage, all that stuff. But then the only thing I still have in the ground out here is rutabaga. I've never grown rutabaga before. The only reason I'm growing rutabaga is because Jess from Roots and Refuge spoke about rutabaga so much, and how it's basically like potatoes, and you could cook them as potatoes and everything too. So that's what I've been doing. I did it one time last year, I think right whenever the pandemic started, or right after, I don't remember when it was, but we went to, I think it's called Ed Lester Farms in Coshada, and they had all these different type of beans out there. They had bunches of carrots and salad, and then they had a bunch of sweet potatoes and peaches, and we went out there, we could see all of their stuff that they had. But when we went out there, they had some beans, and I don't remember exactly what kind of beans they were, but I wanted to make something with these beans. So we got the beans, we shelled them. I got a bunch of carrots that they had there, like not a bunch, like a buttload of carrots, but a bunch of carrots, just, bunch. And then I think I ended up making some chicken with it, or pork chop, or steak. I don't remember what it was. Or I did backstrap or something, I don't know. But because of watching Jess all the time with her rutabaga, I was like, I want to eat rutabaga. So I went to the store, went to Brookshire's, and got rutabaga, and I just watched what she would do, and I did it. So since then, like, I actually liked it. And I thought it was funny though, because my husband was in there helping me cook and everything, and he was trying the rutabaga because I made it to where it was mashed like Jess said it was good, and he's over there adding like butter and milk and all this stuff and all these seasonings, and I was like, it's good, right? And he was like, yeah, but it doesn't taste like mashed potatoes. I said, it's not mashed potatoes, it's rutabaga. Like, you're gonna have a different kick to it. So he's over there like adding all this stuff to make it taste like it, and it just cracked me up, because the reason why I got it is because it was an alternative to mashed potatoes or potatoes, and so it was in a way kind of healthier. And then he's over there adding all this stuff that just diminishes the health of it, but it's okay. Everyone has to go and learn different ways to eat healthy. Eventually we'll get that wrong. But other than that, I have some out here. You can see I have this one, and at first, honestly, I did not think these were gonna grow at all. I have that one, that's that little guy, and that little guy. And that is it. Hey everyone, so it's actually the next day. I didn't get a chance to finish the video from the other day, but we did end up getting our new doe, and we decided not to trade Rudy. Probably what we're going to do, because even if we were to trade him, they were actually going to go and butcher him over there, so we're just like, all right, we'll try to see if we can sell him, and we actually found someone that wants him as a pet, so it's going to work out. But I thought we were getting another red female, but I forgot that my husband told me that we weren't getting another red female, we were getting a blue female. So we have not named her yet. I recommended naming her Azul for blue in Spanish, but my husband was like, oh, that's not gonna go. So it's all right. But I just wanted to show y'all her. I even recommended Belle as for like Bluebell. So right now she does not have a name, but she's super cute. So I just wanted to show y'all her real quick. So this is our pretty lady, and you can see her grooming herself right now. I don't know why rabbits are so cute when they do that. But she will end up being a mama eventually. I think she's about 6 to 8 weeks old. Normally whenever I get them, I ask them the day she was born, but I forgot to ask him, so I'm just gonna have to message him and ask him exactly the day she was born. Isn't she so cute? But that's it for all of this. So I will catch you guys on the next one, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.